Welcome back! We are once again working on Artist's Alley, which is going to be a community lot in Edirann. I'm doing a lot more detail work today, especially with like doors and windows and things like that, and I'll also be kind of placing some items and doing a little bit of the interior as well. I said in the first video this is going to be a three-parter, and that remains true. This was a lot of work, and it's honestly, it's not even decorated on the inside at all, really. Like, it's a very large lot, and it doesn't seem like it because it's so kind of cramped, which is what I wanted, but she a large lot. So I wanted to kind of differentiate each of these different areas. Like, I wanted them, even though they're all connected, to seem separate and their own individual thing. So you see, like, I did some window insets here, some of those kind of like little tiny grate windows, the rounded bit at the top. I struggle with window placement always, but in particular with this lot, it was hard. And you can see this is going to be a really narrow shop. Like, a lot of these shops are really tiny, and I've accepted that they're going to be really tiny because their purpose is not for every single one to be a functional shop, because, as I said in the first one, we don't have a lot of items for some of the careers that these are going to apply to. You can see I blocked off where the windows are. I didn't have to do that, but I just felt like it. There is going to be a tiny little bathroom down here. I tried to sneak those in wherever possible, especially when stairs make awkward little two-tile rooms. Perfect spot to plunk a bathroom down. It doesn't hurt to have as many as possible, and your Sims will thank you when you make them shop all day and they're like, I need to go, please! Sorry, I thought I could sneak a bite in there, and it was a much larger bite than I thought. I'm starving and currently eating a muffin while I'm recording this because I'm very professional. Very professional. So I decided to do the stone inside and out, and then just do simple Tudor walls upstairs. The parts that I left blank are not going to be usable space, so there's no point in putting wallpaper there. I didn't really like those windows on this particular building, but I ended up leaving them. I don't like the open windows. I just feel like there should be something there. But it was the closest thing that I had to what the actual windows were that I'm just like, let's just leave it. Just leave it. And these two shops still kind of bug me that the stone is not exact, but it matches the picture. Oh, and this one really bothered me because it was clearly like, it would be 4 tile in The Sims, but like, there was a roundy little window and a roundy door, but they were like centered, and you can't really do that on 4. Like, there was no way to do that. And I'm like, I hate this, but I'm gonna leave it for now and just accept that this is a reality. But it really bothers me that I couldn't do it the way that it is in the picture. I did go ahead and, you see, I plunked an easel down in that first one because that first one's gonna be a painter's studio. And I decided to open up buy mode and just kind of start assigning different things to different buildings, and also just grabbing out what I know is going to be in here. I wasn't 100% sure. You see it threw a loot down. I wasn't sure if there was going to be a luthier in this or not. I couldn't remember how many buildings I had put together, and instead of counting them, I just plunked a bunch of stuff down. But that first really narrow building is going to be the painter's studio, because it fits with it being a painter's studio, because you don't need a lot of space for that. Like, you just need to be able to put the easel down and then put down something for them to paint. So I'll probably, when I decorate it, do like lots of stands with fruit, or just like still life things that people can paint and practice painting on. It's not meant to be a painter's like gallery where paintings are sold. It's meant to be where painters work, like an actual working space. That is also why this area is like really cramped and kind of not dingy, but it's clearly not where like the nobles would go shopping. This is where you hire somebody to do the fancy work, but like they're not selling big, beautiful paintings here. Like, this is where the work is done. I decided for this next one it was going to be a dyer's studio, so they dye fabric here. I did not do any research in terms of which ones would be most appropriate for which building, so please forgive me on that, but it seemed like the right fit for the number of items that I had. So that's why that became the Dyer Studio. This was more object space than real life based of, oh, they'd need this much space, so I would do this. I wanted to put like a potter's studio in here, but we already have like a pottery lot, and so I also was trying to factor in like things that we already had. I didn't want to like duplicate. It was really hard for me like for the limner, because how are you going to represent like a bookbinder? And then like parchment makers and things like that. So I was kind of grabbing items that I was like, I hope I remember what I mean by this, because I'm probably going to come back and decorate this way later in the future. And so that was why I was grabbing the items, because I wanted to remember, even though I have my notes, just in case. It's better just have it. I'm going to use these ladders, both of the ladders, quite frequently in addition to that little square round one. You're going to see that pretty much in almost every single one, because you have to with these long, narrow buildings. Like, there's just no space for anything else. Which is also something that I wanted to try to consider and factor in while designing these spaces. Like, for people who are dyeing fabric, they probably don't want to carry a whole bunch of heavy things up and down the stairs, so that might get a little unrealistic here or there, because you don't want to carry a bunch of wet fabric up those stairs to dry. But hey, it looks pretty, and that's all that matters. And here I was trying to decide how to break up that weird corner space, especially because I knew upstairs was weird. I wanted to use the biggest spot there, where I just put those walls in the center of the room, for the glazier, I believe is how it's pronounced. Excuse me. So basically the glass makers, specifically they make stained glass windows, but I wanted not a just like, again, this isn't where people are supposed to be buying things directly, but they need a place where they can come to see like examples of their work, like a showroom, but also not. Like, these would also be pieces that they've been working on. It's really hard to display windows in The Sims without building the walls, so we're going to pretend those are not real walls that they're on, but I'm going to put windows there, stained glass windows. I was going to do a studio next to it, but we just don't really have the items for like making glass and glass blowing and everything. I could probably fake it a little bit, but at the end of the day I just didn't care to. So we just have the display of the windows in here. And I think that's fine. I think that's all we need. Like, maybe they have a studio at home and then this is just a space that they rent to store windows that they've made because it's more secure, because there's going to be security here where they might not have that at their house. No one knows. I was mostly just picking my favorite windows as well, so I have a lot more stained glass windows than I had space for, and ultimately it just went to the ones I thought were the prettiest and the fanciest. Like, I get rid of that tall white one that's just clear glass, because I'd rather have the fancy glass. Like, if you're showing what you can do and you're showing your chops and making fancy windows, like, you're gonna have the fanciest of windows on display, because you want to say, look at the fancy windows that I made. Aren't they so fancy? I do get rid of that big square one because it cuts up into the floor upstairs. It was driving me nuts, but I really like that window. So yeah, very, very basic. It serves its purpose. It's all it needs to do. We're definitely pretending those are not real walls. I also wanted to change the glass in that one, and I'm just like, it needs to be fancier. And I have so many recolors of it. But, yeah. Fancy, fancy. Did I remember the flooring in there? I think I remembered later. I jumped around so much with this lot. Like, I was everywhere. I was like, let's go over here, let's go over here, let's go over here. Because I started with, it was the items that threw. I'm like, okay, well, what's this gonna fit in? And where's it gonna go? And how's that gonna work? And then just went from there. I started off good. I started off very methodical, building by building, and just quickly devolved into chaos. So yes, I'm still getting better from my cold. By the time this posts, it'll probably be weeks from my cold, but yeah, it is the cold that won't quit. And again, it is not the thing that is on all headlines, but like, it's annoying. I keep calling it a man cold too, because I'm like, it's not preventing me from doing anything. I'm sniffly, but like, it's not impacting my life. I'm just whiny. Because it's annoying. It does give me headaches. Or migraines, not headaches, but that's just because of the sinus pressure. But again, I have medicine for that. It's not like drastically impacting my life. I'm just whiny. So this is going to be an illuminator's shop. So like illuminated manuscripts. So that's why I have those little drafting tables. I think I actually take that one out and put in a different one. I'm going to use it for a different part of bookmaking. I think maps, maybe, I don't remember which one. But yeah, so the third shop is going to be for illuminated manuscripts. Please don't ask me how I'm going to decorate that, because I honestly don't know. Don't know. Am I actually going to work on this one? I know what I do. Okay, yes. So I did want to start talking about it if I end up moving away. So for this one, I really wanted, because in the image, like, it's the bottom level is almost all glass windows, so like you can see in, because it's a shop front. So I wanted to use these Bourbon Street windows. I actually make them red, or windows and doors. I make them bright red because why not? Why not? It's very silly, but it's just a lot of these like little shops and alleyways, especially the ones I believe they're from York. They're brightly colored. There were some that had like the Tudor beams painted purple, and just, they said YOLO on the colors, and I support that 100%. I had to turn the cheat on because I wanted to see how these windows would look diagonally, but I didn't like the spacing. So I ended up taking them out, but I left the ones in the front because it did have gray windows. I couldn't do a perfect recreation of that shop. To this day, it drives me nuts for that freaking roof line, but that's the limitations, and I just have to accept it. Here's me remembering I need to change the roofing tile because I so often forget to, and I just did gray thatch. Because this doesn't need to be fancy. This is meant to be a functional space. Throwing in some stairs. I believe I have this one, because I know I moved some around, but I think I left this one as is. It's like a weaver's studio, or spinners, or something to do with textiles. Because it's such a brightly lit space, and I feel like you need a really brightly lit space for that. I mean, it's not super bright. I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I put windows on the other side. Just in the front. But it's still going to be more brightly lit than all of the other spaces in this quarter, so yeah. And it's a little bit fancier. I feel like this level of textile making, they're probably earning a bit more money. So I did like the nice wood floors, things like that. I might actually make it an embroidery studio, but I just didn't. I have an embroidery hoop, but I had no idea how I would even begin to convey that that's what it was. I'm editing a little bit here because I didn't like how little that one little section was. It needed to go further, and it wasn't even, and it was bothering me. So here I'm just fixing that and removing the little centery bits. Like I said in the first video, those don't last very long. I was trying to delineate what was what, but yeah, they don't last very long. Alright, where are we going next? What are we doing? I literally did this all in one big shot, so I don't quite remember what I did, and I didn't watch this ahead of time because I feel like it's more entertaining. Like, I'm learning with you, even though I did it. I'm very forgetful. I like these dark windows against the light stone. I just like, if you're gonna use like a lightly dressed stone, darker windows just give it a little pizzazz. I still wasn't quite sure. This is an awkward space. You can see those big buttresses don't quite line up with that building. And the windows here, I was so annoyed because I was like, oh god, it's not gonna match downstairs now. Because it's offset a little bit. But I liked it. I liked the offsetness, but it also, because I like everything to be perfectly even and square up, and it's really against my nature for that to not happen, but I tried very hard. I don't think I leave those windows downstairs though. Maybe I do. I might actually with the stairs there, it might not bug me so much. I didn't do full walls there, I did some half it. Yeah, I think I do leave the windows. Cause it's like a trick of the eye to have the stairs there. I'm trying to remember what I ended up putting here. Cause I kept changing my mind as to what I wanted. You see me going to the deco category. I knew I wanted like a tapestry shop. That does not end up being the tapestry shop, I know that, but yeah, I'm kind of jumping in. I was a mess. I was just going here, there, everywhere. I was trying to decide what to do with this little towery space, but then I was like, oh, I like this door, I'm gonna put it over there, and that's why it's better when I don't record my live building, because like, it takes forever, because my chaotic brain just can't work in a linear fashion. So I'm trying to find some windows here that matched what the photo had, which is just an exercise in frustration, but I try, because they were white, and I'm just like, I don't have a lot of white windows, but I have these, and I do really enjoy these windows, so I just plunked those down. And I love that big medieval barn door. I used green. I really wanted to use the teal, but it clashed too much with the red. And I know red and green are never seen. I don't care. I do what I want. And then for the entrance to the shop, like, I just couldn't figure out a way to put inside stairs. And I was like, I have an outside stair thing that I think would work just fine. And it does cut into that second shop, but I don't care about that. Like, it was more important to me that we had like the outside stairs so we could get to all of the building. Even if these aren't functional shops, I just want them to be accessible. Even if your sim can't do anything there, they can still go up there. Oh god, but the reason why I don't use these outside stair things a lot is the doors are all too tall. That one I'm fine with, but like most doors are too tall to use with them. But it's okay, it all worked out, And I did another ladder to get up to the last little bit up there. And just some railing, simple white railing. I think that's the cartographer's shop, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because I'm trying to find a map. I had the worst time finding the map. I couldn't remember where they were. I'm still redoing my collections folders. It's taking an eternity because I don't like to do it. But I was trying to find a map just so that I would remember that it was a cartographer shop thing. I was like, where the hell are you, map? I could have cut this out, but did I? No. Oh, we are almost done. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to see you in the next one. I'm not paying attention clearly. And yeah.